So a fun fact about my account, Human Torch was actually my first ever rank 4 6-star, so I have history with this champion. And ever since he's been rank 4, he's just been doing a ton of work on my account. He is great for pretty much every piece of content, but the biggest thing of course is Battlegrounds. This character in Battlegrounds, where you can just access his pre-fight on every single fight he does, is just so unreal. And I feel like he'll always be a great Battlegrounds character and like great for Alliance War 2. But why did I ascend Human Torch? I feel like he is just a good champion at rank 4 and rank 5. So why go the full distance? Well, Human Torch is notorious for having to block hits to gain smolders, right? And to do that, it of course costs quite a bit of health. But Human Torch's health pool isn't really all that, so I feel like ascending him is the best thing to do because it gives him a pretty massive health boost, which means taking blocked hits won't be as punishing now. And to start off, we have this 7-star Kindred, and look how fast this fight is. Human Torch is just so insane, man. Like, the damage output is just unreal. Of course, we have some extra help here from the Battlegrounds nodes, but doesn't even matter. That was like, what, 20 something seconds for a 7-star Kindred? That is just crazy. But now let's up the ante a bit. Here we have this 6-star rank 5 ascended Kindred, and this is going to be, you know, a pretty difficult fight because Kindred is not easy at all. Of course he has like the proper counters, and Human Torch is one of them for sure, but things can go very, very south. But with Human Torch, there really isn't enough time for things to go south because Human Torch is just that fast of an attacker. So here he drops the SP1, the power sting is just doing insane work at this point. And yeah, this is just Human Torch at his best, honestly. Like Mystic matchups, energy damage matchups, you name it, he just crushes it. And this is like proof of that. So here he dropped the SP2 once it's time to, like, you know, get unrooted, which is now. So there I drop it, and yeah, this matchup is now over. 42 seconds for a Kindred, not bad in the slightest, and the damage that we took wasn't even too shabby either. But now we have an energy damage matchup here because Human Torch is great for Mystic characters, but he's also pretty good for these energy damage matchups. So here we have the Sherry, just a rank 4 one, so no big deal. But she does have the miss mechanic, right? However, Human Torch does counter miss really, really well. And of course, the energy damage is just fueling us big time. So yeah, he is just perfect for these like type of matchups. Nimrod too. Who else is energy damage? Well, mainly Nimrod, right? I feel like he is one of the best Nimrod counters in the game. And Magneto as well, for example, which, by the way, I have a Magneto boss fight at the end of this, so stay tuned. But yeah, here she drops the SP1, and that just about does it. Not too shabby at all. That was like, what, 40 seconds again. Honestly, still pretty decent times for sure. But now we have this really cool matchup. This is Energy Adoption Fire, and Energy Adoption Fire is cool because it reduces incinerate damage by 100%, and additionally, while they are incinerated, they heal for 1% of their health per second. Now, Human Torch has a cool ability where his incinerate damage increases per smolder, and this goes above 100%. So that means that eventually we'll bypass that minus 100% incinerate damage res, which is so crazy, right? And additionally, we are reversing his healing as well because per incinerate, you reduce the opponent's healing by 20%, which is really, really good. So yeah, Human Torch is just crazy sometimes. For like nodes that he shouldn't work for, he just does really, really well in. And yeah, now we have this Rage 1.5 lane. Nothing too crazy, just a simple Wolverine here, but we're gonna Flame On just to try it out. And yeah, the Flame On ability is one of the craziest things in the game. And it's like pretty standard in questing because if he's like max sig, you pre-fight on the first fight, then you get it back like 4 fights later, or 3 fights actually, so just in time for the boss pretty much. But in Battlegrounds, you use it on every single Human Torch fight, which is just insane really, right? Because that power should be restricted, right? But it's not in Battlegrounds, so that is why he is one of the best Battlegrounds characters in the entire game, because yeah, the pre-fight is just way too strong, to be honest. But hey, he's Human Torch for a reason, right? He is meant to be this good, and I'm glad he is, because before, like, he was really popular, he was considered kind of trash, which is crazy, right? Because it's Human Torch. But yeah, not anymore. He is still just one of the best science champions in the game. And honestly, with like his story and all that of being once like regarded as trash to now being a top tier science character, I think he is like the greatest of all time in the science class, because you can't make that stuff up. Like, going from 0 to hero like so fast is just really impressive. But yeah, now we have a no pre-fight matchup, and he still does really well here, because the incinerates by themselves are still pretty good. Plus, if the opponent has healing, you can just reverse that as well. And plus, you can get the Nova Flames up like manually if you want to, like I did right there. So yeah, it's not even that bad. And there goes the power stings, which is perfect. Like, this man really just does so much, and I really do love it. He is a power sting character, he is an incinerate character, a Nova Flame character, heal reverser, miss counter, you name it, he kind of just does it really. Like, he is just so good for all the science tropes that he does. So yeah, he is just such a beast, and he really deserves to be ascended for sure, because I don't think he'll be a 7-star champion ever. But that's just my thoughts. Now we have this Magneto boss, and Magneto does have like energy damage on all of his hits, so this is perfect for us. And like I was saying, I think Human Torch is just a bit too strong to be a 7-star, so that's why ascending the 6-star is just really important, because as time goes on, there'll be higher rank 7 stars, and he'll still be like 6-star locked, right? So you want to have him at like the highest power, and may as well just do it now, because 7-star rank 3 champions are here. So yeah, it's just crazy how much the game has changed, and how 7 stars are the main thing, but Human Torch can still just shred them big time, right? But yeah, here I dropped the SP2, some pretty nice damage for sure. And so far so good. I just need to dex this hopefully, which I do, so that's great. And yeah, like, the block damage hasn't been too bad either, but even if it is bad, we have that extra ascension health to, like, you know, keep us healthy. And yeah, this matchup is essentially over, because I dropped the relic, go back in, drop the SP2. No, I don't. I just let the power stings do the work, and there we go. That was under a minute, by the way, so yeah, pretty good stuff there. And now we have this really fun matchup. So I'm not going to use my pre-fight here, and that seems surprising, right? Because, you know, the pre-fight is just so strong. But there are some matchups, and this is like another great use of Human Torch, where sometimes like they reflect your damage over time effects. For example, the clapback node, and also champions like Mr. Sinister. But Human Torch is Incinerate immune, and whenever they try to incinerate him, he gets Smolder passives, and Smolder passives just greatly increase his damage output. So that's why in some of these matchups, you might not want to pre-fight necessarily, because yeah, the bonus Smolders are just really good for sure. And here we can just drop the heavy attack, and here he transfers 4 Incinerates, but we're immune, so we just get 4 Smolders, and that is just a very nice damage output increase. So yeah, so far so good here. Here we activate Nova Flame, which was kind of accidental, but it's fine. The power stings do some pretty good work at least. And additionally, Mr. Sinister's regen just gets reversed as well, or it gets like blocked at least, because those Incinerates just really stack up for sure. So here I dropped the SP2, and we're doing a ton of Incinerate damage now, like almost 1,000 per tick, which is just insane. And here he drops the SP1 himself, but then that just gives us more Smolders. And yeah, this is just so much fun. And yeah, at this point, the fight just feels over, because we have so many Smolders built up. He just keeps on giving us more Smolders too. So here I just dropped my SP2 after the heavy attack, and it does some pretty nice damage. Of course, he is just a G.O.A.T character though, so yeah, don't expect it to do a ton of damage, right? But then I drop another combo. He drops the SP2, took some block damage, but it's fine. And yeah, that was a pretty clean boss fight and a really fun one as well. But Human Torch is just such a good champion still. Great for Battlegrounds, great for pretty much any piece of content. That burst damage is just insane. In long fights, he is so good as well. He is just great for pretty much anything. So let me know your thoughts on Human Torch, and yeah, that's about it from me.